So I wanted to add a little more dimension to my Halloween decorations this year, and I was inspired to make some shelf mushrooms, hang on the side of the house. Well, that didn't work out. First, my artwork was, a little shoddy, and they look a lot more like rock formations than mushrooms. Second, Clicky, for the life of him, could not find a way to attach them to the sides of the house without punching holes. Before I hear the chorus of command strips, they didn't seem to adhere to the house even a little. The strips wouldn't even support that little white plastic hook. So it was time to pivot, and here we are, Glowstones. Now, I'll be using them for what they actually look like. They add, great depth and mystery to the garden, and, they add to the story and the texture of Mushroom Hollow. I'm Gardener Coo, and let's get into it. All right, the first thing you obviously need is the insulation. You can find this at Home Depot or Lowe's. I got lucky enough that I have a friend of a friend who was building a fireproof house because of California, and so they had some extra left over, so they gave it to me. One problem with it is extra wide, so I'm a little worried about that weight on the house because it's going to be sticking at 90 degrees, so I'm going to cut them in half, and while you're at Home Depot, buy the longest reciprocating saw blade you can find. Now, in preparation for cutting, you also want to wear a hat to keep the foam out of your hair. You want to wear a mask because if you don't want it in your hair, you don't want it in your lungs. And then, of course, you need to be wearing some boots because if this slips, you don't want to take off a toe. And then, of course, bring the pets inside. So we cut them in half, made a giant mess, and now it's time for sculpting. So you want to make sure you have one straight edge that you can attach to the house, and then you're just going to curve out all the corners of everything else. Just make it rounded. And then on these edges, you're going to just do a little scallop shape in and out. You don't have to be super precise. We're going to make most of the mushroom shape out of the paint. But then you want to curve this out. And if you have extra foam like I do here on the center, you can cut this with the reciprocating saw and round it out, and then it'll just look like a gill of the mushroom. Be sure to vacuum up the foam dust when you're done. You really don't want that getting into your garden or your pets eating it. So the next step is to paint these mushrooms with a white exterior paint. So camera snafu, and I forgot to film me priming, but you want to prime all of these blocks with Kills Mildew Primer. And it's going to eat up so much more primer than you think. Remember, these are foam blocks, so it's just going to suck up the primer. You want to do this for a couple reasons, but they all relate to water. So last year I painted all these beautiful Christmas decorations, but I didn't do the white exterior paint step, and they all got mildewy, and now I have to repaint them again for next year. Total waste of time and money and paint. You also want to do this because these foam insulation bricks are basically sponges. So if it rains or if it's foggy like it is often here, they're just going to absorb water like crazy, and that weight will help pull them off the side of the house. So you want to do everything you can to make them as waterproof as you can. And it also makes them a lot whiter, which is a better base for fluorescent paint. You always want to put fluorescent paint onto the whitest possible surface. All right, so if you have a giant puppy like me that happens to, step on one of your shelf mushrooms and you need to repair it, this is what you do. So take a bamboo skewer, the kind you use for barbecuing, and you want to cut it in, you want to snap it in half. Then you're going to stick them halfway into one side of the mushroom. And I'm going to use 3 here because I think 3 adds just a little bit more stability rather than 2. And then you can take your other mushroom and you can line it up perfectly. Now this is just so you get the exact match on perfectly. These are going to be pilot holes. So you're just trying to see where it matches up the best. And yeah, that's perfect. So then you're going to take this out and you're going to replace them with the full bamboo skewers because this will give you added strength of a long skewer. So let's get a little nerdy for a minute and talk about paints. When you're talking about brightly colored paints, there are 3 groups: neon, fluorescent, and phosphorescent. Neon paint does not really react to UV light at all. It's kind of the same as your average beige house paint. Fluorescent paints absorb the UV coming in and then they immediately re-emit it as visible light. That's why they look just so vivid and vibrant and alive. It's also why they don't last outside very well. That absorption and re-emission breaks down the molecules that are responsible for the fluorescent color. And so you should not keep your fluorescent stuff outside. Keep it indoors. I usually put my decorations out a week before Halloween because I don't want all that added UV and rain. Fluorescence shows up all over in minerals, but it's quite rare in plant and animal kingdoms. It shows up in places like jellyfish and, for some reason, platypus stomachs. Nature's weird. They took those jellyfish genes I was talking about and put them in fish, which you might have seen at the pet store, called glowfish. They aren't injected with pigment. They produce it naturally within their own bodies. I love glowfish. They appeal to my love of insanely neon things, if you haven't figured out that I like that yet. Our final paint is Phosphorescent, which is a fancy name for glow in the dark. These paints can also be fluorescent, but not always. Last year, I decorated my Halloween costume with phosphorescent paint, and I was just so disappointed when it didn't show up at all in the black light. I assumed the paint had gone bad. Then Clicky and I went exploring into the Halloween madness, and on the dark street, my outfit burst into light. FYI, black lights are great at charging up glow-in-the-dark stuff. You can also find phosphorescents available in minerals. Science Minute over. All right, now it's time to move on to sketching out what your shelf mushrooms are going to look like. So the first thing you want to do is you want to use the side of the mushroom that you cut into, because it has all these beautiful ridges on it, and that really adds to the 3D look. And you also, so what I'm going to use for sketching is these beautiful Sharpie fluorescent pens that I picked up. I love them, and they will help me figure out what colors I want to do. You want to be very careful when painting fluorescent colors next to each other to use colors that are one color away from the color you use. So what I mean is, don't put yellow next to green, don't put orange next to red. They kind of, in the black light, blend together and you can't really see the difference. So like a green next to orange is great, a red next to yellow is great. Use those color combinations so you can really get the pop of color and the change. Okay, so Milo Supplies here, who makes some of my favorite and least favorite fluorescent paints, just came out with this new color, Violet, and I tried it out last night and I think it looks really cool. But when you put a black light on it, it didn't fluoresce. Their blue and white also do not fluoresce, do not buy. But they also make the orange and the yellow that are fabulous. So what I'm going to do is hit it with some white house paint, again, because you want to have as white a possible base for any fluorescent paints. And then I'm going to switch over to pink, because that's close and in the family, and should look pretty good. Now onto the setup, which isn't all that hard. But if you've been enjoying this video, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll have so many more crazy ideas for your Halloween decorations. They'll be fun, they'll be creative, they'll be customizable to your own Halloween theme, and I'd also love some ideas on how to hang the foam guides from the house in the future that doesn't involve command strips or double-sided tape, which also didn't work, or French cleats. So, to get these guys secure in the ground, you just want to use a few bamboo stakes depending on the length of and height of the foam you're using. I broke apart the one that already broke because I think it just looks better this way as a mineral. So you just poke the bamboo stakes into the bottom of the glowstone a few inches and then just place it in the ground. It's that easy. Do make sure it's angled straight or kind of tilting away from the light source. That way you get full light coverage. And now you have a garden full of glowstone, fluorescing from the bowels of the earth. Use this to elevate your decorations, or honestly, if you wanted, you could just do a whole garden of these and it would be very Jules Verne Journey to the Center of the Earth. Give this project a try and have a garden of glowstone. I'm Gardener Coo. Go get creative, and don't worry, the Amanitas are coming back.